This hotel that you see today, for me personally and for entire team at Samhi, has been a dream in making for a while.
I think our first journey was to figure out what are we going to change them into. And change is a very, very tedious process. It really demands a lot of patience, tenacity, perseverance.
He couldn't find one guy in India who had the pre-qualification or experience or past record to do something like this.
There has been always a pressure that all the properties are getting shut down, and there will be loss of revenue in case we even delay the project even by a few days.
Time became one of our biggest challenges, for which my entire team had to sort of gear up, prepare, and literally we were turning out 2 working going sets every month.
The moment you touch anything, you should be prepared for uncertainties to pop up.
The Holiday Inn Express portfolio, I do believe, is one of the most audacious conversion programs that the hotel sector has seen.
India is constantly evolving. The economic and tourism boom in the last few years has led to an increased demand for quality offerings in the mid-scale hospitality market across the country.
We always believed that there is a tremendous untapped opportunity in the mid-scale space or mid-scale hotels in India. And when I talk about untapped, it's not just that there are not enough hotels catering to mid-scale business in India. We believe there are a lot of mid-scale hotels in India, but not providing what the customer is asking for. Who's the mid-scale consumer? The mid-scale consumer is the millennial. The mid-scale consumer is the young professional. The mid-scale consumer is the new Indian who started traveling for leisure. They are very well educated, they're very well informed, they're extremely self-aware, and a lot of them have a very global outlook. So their expectations from products and services they use is, in my opinion, new age, whereas a lot of businesses who cater to them are still old age.
Samhi Hotels is one of India's fastest growing hotel investments and development company. Since its inception in 2011, Samhi has built strong partnerships with global hotel operators and investment partners. Samhi's expertise and presence in key locations across India has placed it in the right position to fulfill the demands of the mid-scale consumer.
Our principal theme is that we buy hotels which are displaced, not necessarily distressed. And by displaced means that there is a natural market positioning of those hotels, but currently they're operating below that market position. And it could be because of poor product, poor brand, wrong capital structure, poor knowledge of the business. So we like to buy assets which have all of those issues which causes it to be displaced to its natural positioning. And then we intervene on those assets to improve product, a lot of times improve the brand, definitely improve the capital structure, provide a high degree of, if I may say, asset management expertise, and then turn them around into the right positioning within the existing market. So that's been our journey over the last 7 years. And that's where we are today with 29 hotels with about 4,400 rooms.
Out of Samhi's 29 hotels, 10 will be renovated and relaunched within 6 months. These hotels will become the new identity of the Holiday Inn Express brand in India.
The Holiday Inn Express portfolio, I do believe, is one of the most audacious conversion programs that the hotel sector has seen. It's audacious because we are renovating 10 hotels at the same time across country. So it's just the scale and the spread of the renovation that is A, challenging, B, also extremely exciting for us. And I think we took up that challenge earlier this year in partnership with Intercontinental Hotels Group. This business is all about distribution. How is your room in Gurgaon sold globally will determine how successful you are in the long term. And I think therefore you need to partner with brands and operators who have very strong, very wide and global distribution.
I think it's fairly well known that Samhi is one of the preeminent ownership groups in the country. For us, it's been a great partnership thus far.
The owner and the operator need to have a similar vision. We believe that Intercontinental has a very similar vision about tapping into the mid-scale market. They have a very similar vision about scalability opportunity in this market. They also have a very similar approach to running the hotels, which is extremely cost efficient yet extremely comfortable for the customers. So we just did not find the right brand fit. We also found the right operating partner who was very aligned to the way we view the opportunity in this segment, and therefore we eventually partnered with them sometime last year.
The future is mid-scale. So this portfolio will put us on the map for mid-scale with the Holiday Inn Express brand, right? And through the traction that we build, the goal would be to continue to roll out Holiday Inn Express moving forward in the years to come, to continue to cater to the growing mid-scale segment of customers, if you will. And this project will really be the launching cornerstone of that endeavor.
Samhi has been used to doing multiple hotels in the same year, but this was a different scale altogether. We start with 10 hotels on a day, or within a month we start with 10 hotels, and we expect those 10 hotels to be delivered back after full renovation, within a period of 6 months.
To achieve this uphill task, Samhi called upon their trusted project management partner, Ascentes, who have worked on all of Samhi's projects in the past.
When this transformation was on table, and Ashish called me and said, why don't you guys also come and help us out? I said, yeah, why not? And we will be excited, because something of this scale is never been attempted.
In my 20 years, I've realized hotels are a lot like individuals. They have personalities, and they have potentials, and they go through growth, they go through stability, they go through decline, all sorts of cycles. But it's pretty much what an individual goes through in his life. And what's most important for somebody who's an asset owner or an asset manager is to realize and understand the personality of that portfolio or that hotel, and make sure that at all times, as an asset manager, you are assisting that personality to reach its full potential.
There are a certain set of capabilities we needed in a design firm for us to partner with them. One was their ability to produce 14 designs within a period of 6 to 7 months. And that's typically the time required by design firms to produce one hotel. The biggest challenge for us was the guest room. This guest room is really small, and I know a lot of my colleagues in the industry felt that how on earth will they get this right with that small guest room? I think that answer squarely the responsibility was with the design firm.
The answer to this question lied with Vandana Saxena, a highly talented architect and the owner of Studio 4 Designs, an interior design firm based in Gurgaon.
Samhi's brief to us was design something that's extremely smart, that is, liked by everyone across all age groups, pan-India. So that was our brief. Samhi and us, we went on a little trip to Singapore, which was organized by ING, and there we saw a number of Holiday Inn Expresses which they have built. Some of them told us what to do, some of them told us what we don't like. What we also realized post that trip was that it's not really the dimension of the room that defines the experience. And that was our key takeaway when we came back from Singapore. We had a very positive takeaway that yes, even though the space is less, we should be able to do something that is significantly of high value. What actually shaped the room design is the fact that we wanted to, edit out all the noise of design when we were designing this room, and we wanted to focus on whatever would be the critical elements for a guest when he's in the room. We didn't want that art should be hung as artwork. We wanted art to become a part of, say, the wall narrative. So this little narrative of the city with someone biking through it was created so that it creates a sense of discovery for the traveler or for the guest as they come into the hotel. Where we wanted to create a significant difference was that we wanted the public areas, even though the palette remains the same, we wanted to make sure that each property looks different, is responding to the context of the city, has significant detail changes so that a guest, when he goes from one property to the other, doesn't feel that, oh, I'm in a copy-paste, cookie-cutter looking lobby. We want him to have a different and a new experience. So from that perspective, we studied our spaces thoroughly. Wherever we were able to maximize heights, we maximized it. Wherever we were able to get in more natural light, we've gotten in more natural light. We developed small nuances, like for example, Chennai has ceilings that are that look like rafters, and the typical sloping roofs of Chennai have been brought into the interiors. We have small dancing dolls as part of metal elements inspired by Bharatanatyam poses in the city.
With the core team on board, the next step was to figure out the perfect plan to successfully achieve this large-scale renovation.
One of the biggest inspirations in my life has been Rudyard Kipling's simple quote, which a lot of you may be familiar with. He says, "I have 6 honest men who serve me, and that's what guides me. What, when, how, where, who, and why." And I've very often seen that if you really, in any situation, if you ask these simple questions and you are able to put together answers for this, you pretty much have a good plan.
This was again a renovation. So renovation is completely different in terms of project. If you look at any other project which is a greenfield, where typically what happens is the project is first designed, then you go to a market and procure the product, get a contractor on board, and then you start the construction. But in renovation, you don't have that approach, liberty of that approach.
It was very essential to have a sequence in working in the room. And we derived that from our experience working in past projects onto paper, initially, theoretically, and then we did mock-up.
We decided to give 4 contractors, try out all 4 contractors who have been working with us with a mock-up. So we told them to do a mock-up in Gurgaon. 1 month time, let's do a mock-up. And that will be a test for all of them, how they understand the product, how they deliver, and they will be all each next to each other. So we can see the quality difference also, how each one has done the work. And that was also a starting benchmark for us, because the brand has to approve this. Everybody also see, because this was a big transformation. Everybody has apprehension whether this will look nice or not look nice and all. So we started that in January. We started. End of January, we took a target of 1 month. We managed to complete the mock-up.
This is very nice.
The mock-up rooms are a big hit with the entire team. The experience gained in this process will be instrumental in the success of the HiX project. The HiX renovation consists of 10 hotels located in 7 cities, forming a total inventory of approximately 1,500 rooms, which should be transformed within 6 months. Following the sequence established in the mock-up, first the rooms will be stripped, while carefully protecting assets that are going to be retained. Then the plumbing and electricals will be modified based on the new design, and safety equipment will be upgraded according to the new brand standards. In the next step, the rooms will be prepared for new fixtures, lighting, furniture, and furnishings, followed by installation and finishing. Finally, the rooms will be thoroughly checked for snags and desnagged. This process will be repeated more than 1,500 times in the coming months. While the bulk of the work happens in the guest rooms, the public areas will also be transformed simultaneously.
Whatever you do it really well. And interestingly, with IHG, we found their brand campaign has a tagline which says it beautifully, and which says, "We are big on detail." Which means even if you do a small thing, it has to be big on detail. And it's
On 12th of March 2018, Samhi called for a meeting where new and old collaborators were briefed about the renovation, and the plan to implement the HiX project was revealed.
I think it's about differentiation in what we're trying to do with the limitations that you have. Our opportunity here is bigger than a Ritz-Carlton. Now, if you're trying to bring respect to the space for the customer, that respect starts today in this room on how we treat this whole exercise. We cannot just treat this as a construction activity. Right? We have to construe this as a creation activity. We're not constructing something, but we're creating something.
What we are saying here is very simple. This is a very unique project, and we're all fortunate to be a part of the team that's going to build it. Going forward, the world will only see the end result, but it'll be forever that all of us get to say that we were a part of the team that built this portfolio the way it is.
In March 2018, work began at the Gurgaon property.
व्यवसाय जल बीमा और पर्यावरण संरक्षा के लिए परिवार समाज संस्थान तथा देश के व्यापक हित में पुनः समर्पित करता हूँ। जय सुरक्षा जय हिंद।
डैमेज करेगा हार्ड
If it's not natural timber and if it's veneer, the veneer will start peeling off every time.
मत करो यार प्लीज उसको स्टेबल रखो Absolutely.
Although the main task is carried on site, the work of the support team at the corporate office is vital to the success of the HiX project.
I'm the point of contact for the project managers, for the procurement team, for the family leadership team here, and all the vendors, contractors, suppliers, all of that. Eventually everything is being done through Samhi, while there are managers in between. Single point of contact for this execution is what I'm doing right now.
Benjamin West is a purchasing company which focuses in FF&E and OS&E. So FF&E refers to loose furniture items and fixtures and equipment which are part of any hotel, and OS&E refers to operational items which are required to keep a hotel running.
My role here is to act as a bridge between design and delivery of a project, right from working with client and ensuring that their requirements are fulfilled and expectations are met, to delivering the right information from design teams to the main contractors and making sure that information is available to those who need it when they need it.
We have a database of suppliers around the world for each category, and we analyze category-wise which, suppose 5 suppliers for carpet, which would be best suited to provide and execute the project. So we take the requirement from the designer, we take the budget amount, which we know internally, and we float the requirement to the suppliers, which we think would be able to execute.
My role also includes creating BOQs for all FF&E procurement items visiting furniture factories to inspect all the material and ensure that it is as per the requirement and approved drawings.
The work began with a lot of motivation, but renovating 10 hotels simultaneously presented a number of challenges for the team.
It's a physical process at the end of the day, right? The moment you touch anything, you should be prepared for uncertainties to pop up. These hotels some of them were built 6 years back, and when you pretty much open up the whole body, you may have been looking for a small appendicitis, but something else could have come up.
There has been always a pressure that all the properties are getting shut down, and there will be loss of revenue in case we delay the project even by a few days.
Obviously, to achieve a target of completing 10 hotels across 7 different cities in such a short span in itself is very challenging. And to make it more challenging was the fact that designing was happening simultaneously with the construction at site, which generally doesn't happen.
Time became one of our biggest challenges, for which my entire team had to sort of gear up, prepare, and literally we were turning out 2 working drawing sets every month for at least 2 properties.
See, we have to procure everything together for 10 hotels for the uniformity and obviously for the negotiated pricing. There were materials like stone, which is a natural material and it comes with a lot of variation. And if you see all these 10 hotels, it is a very important factor because as soon as you enter the lobby, you see the stone on the floor and the wall. So it was very challenging to select the slabs of stone which has less defects and less variation, so that some kind of uniformity can be achieved.
When we're talking for beds, we have to calculate room-wise how many twin rooms, how many queen rooms. For anything, the square meters of carpet, if you have 1,000 rooms and 8 meters a room, you have 80,000 square meters right there. So it's a very large planning for production, not only for us to manage the inventory at the site, but for the manufacturers also to take that volume into their factories, and how they plan that internally, that was a challenging task for them.
At RIPL and BNP, production continues at full speed. They have to manufacture and deliver more than 2,000 pieces of furniture for the public areas within 60 days. Sometimes the act of nature caused disruption, and sometimes the acts of men.
There were 2 things happened. There was a Bangalore election, and at the same time there was a transporters strike. So that strike started from one day, and then it went on till I think 8 days. So our projects in Bangalore, they suffered 7 days that nothing could move to site. Our trucks were loaded in the factory in Mumbai, the contractors' trucks, but they couldn't make it.
Well begun is half done, as they say. We put in a lot of effort in planning, right? Be it the budgeting process, be it choosing the right partners, making sure that everybody understood what we are setting out to do. And that just not meant the leaders in each area. Our effort has been to go down to the last mile connectivity, I would say last man connectivity, to make sure that each person involved with this project understands what's the big picture.
Each stakeholder will have a different motivation. The management team will have a different motivation than the person on site. So ensuring that that again balances to get you to that goal which you want. That's one struggle that we face.
I think it's extremely important that everybody owns up the process, and we are all as involved, and we do not abdicate but delegate responsibly. We set up a very, very strong review mechanism where every Tuesday, ever since the project has started, we do a full review of the week gone by, be it from procurement, project side, civil services, licenses and approvals, finances, all of that under one roof.
So that helped. If we have that, there was no bureaucracy in the system that you have sent a report and somebody will come and it will go to multiple people. Everybody sitting across the table, we discussed the issue. We said these are the challenges, these are the surprises, and these are the options. And let's say, okay, go ahead. This is the best thing.
That's one part that happens at the office. Each partner has their own review mechanisms and trackers that they do for their work. The next line of check or how we actually figure out where we are is physical site visits that happen between us at the leadership team level, between Ashish, me, people from the centers who go and actually physically verify what's really happening.
Ashish and Vaibhav visit the High-X Gurgaon property.
When do you intend doing this?
They are worried about the pace of work.
Right now, base is going to be prepared.
The project manager in charge at Gurgaon assures them that they will catch up to the planned timeline.
Right, so there's nothing left which can be an effluent in case, because there are a lot of this ceiling is also to be documented. So something will be balanced and we will do that. What's the point of doing this if you are still working? What's this?
As Ashish and Vaibhav continue further to one of the floors seemingly ready for handover, they immediately spot some serious problems.
Yeah, have you gone back and told the person?
We have already told them, and they are doing the validities. They told if it will not work, then they are sending some machine to get it straightened.
Really need to. But we discussed the remedy to this also last time. Put an L angle.
यार इसको आप टेप नहीं लगाते हो इसमें, पेंटर्स टेप, मास्किंग टेप?
सारा
जब
काफी
ये प्लास्टिक आगे तक ला रहे हो तो उसमें मास्किंग टेप तो लगाओ। तो क्या करोगे इस कारपेट का? बताओ, नया कारपेट है ये।
मास्किंग टेप लगाया था सर, अभी उसको
नहीं, मास्किंग टेप
नहीं लगा हुआ है।
नहीं,
अभी आप नीचे भी देखेंगे
कहाँ लगा है मास्किंग टेप? एक भी कहीं पे छूटा हुआ है मास्किंग टेप?
यहाँ पे मैंने कहा नीचे लगवाया हुआ है सर, सारा का सारा।
यहाँ छोड़ दिया,
बेड जहाँ पे लगाया हुआ है ना, वहाँ पे हटा दिया।
क्यों? अगर आप बोल रहे रूम हो गया है तो what is this mug doing here? What is this doing? What is this doing? What is this doing here? Tell me.
एक बार क्लीनिंग हो जाएगी, मैं आपको दिखा दूंगा।
But boss, you handed over this floor.
कारपेट में क्या करोगे? शैम्पू करोगे उसके अंदर?
Been highlighting most of the time.
आप ये शैम्पू कराओ मैं इस कारपेट को, नए कारपेट को।
We've been highlighting this cleaning is a major problem. Every day we've been highlighting that the carpet is a major problem. Production is not being done.
Achha, let me redefine snagging.
In this project, where every mistake can get repeated hundreds of times, there is no room for complacency.
So let's not call something that has not happened the way it has happened.
USB रह जाएगा। USB कल आएगी, कल आ जाएगी। चलो वो भी लग जाएगी। कल आएगी तो वो भी लग जाएगी। लग जाएगी। चलिए USB आ जाएगी। आप फिनिश करना शुरू कर दो।
Sanjeev Sachdeva, the High-X project head for Ascentas, will himself supervise the work in Gurgaon from now on. Under his supervision, the team picks up pace to finish the Gurgaon property before its opening date, which is not too far. At the same time, another team focuses on identifying snags in the guest rooms.
So first thing is there should be silicone all around here. Second thing, there should be POP filling all around here, which is not there. Third, there again has to be POP filling here and over here also with white cement and 10x. And then this we have to check, although there is no hot water supply, so we will be checking it later on. And cleaning. And most important thing is there's a red mark over here, so which is we cannot accept it. We have to write in a snag list.
All identified snags need to be corrected before the opening to ensure that the guest experience is of the highest quality. In any hotel, the guest safety is extremely important. The fire and life safety systems in every High-X property have been upgraded. A team of expert consultants is testing the safety equipment before the hotel opens.
So we did a mock-up drill as well to test our systems. We did detailed testing of fire alarm systems, telephone jacks provided on the floors, So everything was tested in detail so that we are upgraded to the required standards in terms of fire and life safety. Smoke extraction system was tested by means of mocktail. So what we did is we created a false smoke in the corridor, and as per norms, this fog has to disappear, and evacuation signals have to appear within 8 to 10 minutes of activation of fire alarm. And we upgraded our systems in such a way that the signages become visible lesser than the time required. In some properties, these were visible even in 4-5 minutes as well. Another aspect is firefighting. In case of fire, how do we tackle the fire and how do we suppress the fire by means of water? So what we did is we ensured that our fire pumps are functioning fine, and then we tested our fire hydrants by operating them on the ground level and firing them till the height of the building.
Back in March, before the renovation work started, all hotels were left with a large quantity of existing linen and cotton materials that needed replacement.
Hotels got shut. Overnight, we were left with meters and meters of linen, bed sheets, thousands of cushion pieces. We could not store it anywhere because we're talking about large numbers here. We had to change it all because there were new brand standards coming in and we had to adhere to it. Hence, as an organization, we thought of donating almost all of it to an NGO called Goonj.
Goonj is an NGO that undertakes disaster relief, humanitarian aid, and community development efforts across India, with special focus on the widely unaddressed need for clothing.
समी ग्रुप से जो सामान आया था वो नहीं सिर्फ दिल्ली में आया था बल्कि वो हैदराबाद चेन्नई में भी आया था, और जो आया था वो एक बड़े स्केल पे भी आया था। और उसमें जो कॉटन का कपड़ा है वो हम लोग सैनिटरी नैपकिन पैड में कन्वर्ट किए और बहुत उसका फ़ायदा हुआ। उसकी एक वजह ये थी कि जो चीज़ आया था वो बल्क में आया था, तो हम सैनिटरी नैपकिन पैड बनाना है तो उसकी एक लेयर बनाते थे, डायरेक्ट मशीन से कट करते थे, तो एक बार में 1 घंटे की जो प्रोडक्शन है वो कई गुना बढ़ जाती थी। आप समझिए इस बात से कि ये जो सैनिटरी नैपकिन पैड जाता है वो उन महिलाओं के बीच में जाता है जहाँ महिला आज भी मिट्टी, राख और डर्टी ब्लाउज तक घास तक इस्तेमाल करती है। तो इस तरह के जो कपड़े हैं, और ये खासतौर से अगर होटल से जो हमारे पास आता है वो मटेरियल बहुत यूटिलाइज होता है। हमारे पास टॉवल वगैरह भी आया था जो सैनिटरी नैपकिन पैड में भी कन्वर्ट किए और उसके अलावा उसको फैमिली किट का भी पार्ट बनाया। और इसके अलावा जो भी लिनेन का जो चीज़ें आएंगी, हम कुछ ऐसे कपड़े थे जो कि हम लोग अपने वर्कशॉप में यानी कि उसको रिसाइकिल कर पाए, तो उसको भी बेस्ट यूटिलाइज कर पाए।
All the linens except Nasik we had given away to Goonj, the NGO. For the Nasik, all the linen and all the cushions we gave it away to another orphanage where the kids of the farmers who committed suicide are trying to live a life. About us as an organization, what we felt about this whole process, I think it was a deep sense of satisfaction, giving back to the society.
निकालो फटाफट। इसको दूसरा एक आदमी जाओ।
Overcoming one challenge after another, the work at Gurgaon is nearly completed. While the team races towards finishing, the work at other HIX locations continues at a swift pace. The work at Hyatt's Gurgaon is now completed and the hotel is ready for its grand opening.
First of all, I really wanted to thank you for taking out time this evening and making it actually more special than it already is. And why is this special? Because this product and this hotel that you see today, for me personally and for entire team at Samhi, has been a dream in making for a while. But it's taken us years of efforts to accumulate a beautiful portfolio of 14 hotels, and to do the right thing to that portfolio was something that appears to be having been done in rush, but it took many years.
Our learning has been in this entire project that if you're persistent about what you set out to achieve, you'll find solutions. There could be delays, there could be disappointments, there could be frustration, but it's important to stick to what you want to set out to do.
People never thought it can happen in this short span of time, and even if things will happen, things will not be able to achieve the same level of quality standard.
And going through 1500 times same thing, we realized that last room we finished is as good as same as the first room we started with. That gives us immense satisfaction that we could replicate those things.
For us as Accentors and the project manager, this was a unique opportunity presented to us to demonstrate that we can do in India also something in timeline and cost, and that too multiple projects together.
Once all these hotels are open, in my view, this will arguably be the single largest conversion undertaking of its kind in the Indian hospitality landscape. And once we've opened all the hotels, I think it'll be a testament not only to obviously Samhi, but also to IAG and the Holiday Inn Express brand that we were able to do that in the limited time frame.
We believe this is the start of creating what would be India's most formidable mid-scale hotel platform and brand. So thank you again, a very warm welcome, and I hope you enjoy the hotel after this. Thank you.